Class, this video is about the content standards that we've been covering in the class. Believe it or not, we have a lot of content standards that we meet every day in our classroom. For the visual arts, you can check the California Art Standards in the state website for education, or you can just Google California Art Standards. And you can see there that there's a development of standards from simple to complex. And just to give you an example, I'm looking at page 13 in the document in California State Department for Visual Arts, that the 6th grade standard reads, reflect, this is 6.VA CR3, reflect on whether personal artwork conveys an intended meaning and revise accordingly. For the 7th grade, it reads like this: reflect on and explain important information about personal artwork in an artist statement or another format. And that's what we do. We write statements. For 8th grade, it looks like this: apply relevant criteria to examine, reflect on, and plan revisions for a work of art or design in progress. And that's what we do here. We refine, we design, we look at an artist's statements, and we try to convey an idea. We try to express an idea that is relevant and has some context. So it is complex, but artists do this all the time. We have to select subject matter. We have to analyze the things that we create. We have to be able to prepare our work and synthesize all of the different things that are going on around the artworks and subject matters that we choose, so that we're able to deliver and present quality artwork, original quality artwork that represents and expresses our original idea. Part of this is also perception. In other words, how do life experiences influence the way you relate to art? How does learning about art impact how we perceive the world? Right? Some of these ideas are so deep that we've never actually been given the time to even think about them. What can we learn from our responses to art? There's some things that we latch onto that other people might not. And this makes us a more complete human versus someone who just experiences life as something that happens to them. We instead engage with life and seek to produce and express within it. We also ask other questions, such as where and how do we encounter images in our world, and how do images influence our views of the world? These are very deep thoughts, and we want to make sure that at least we begin to scratch the surface on some of these topics. We also interpret artworks, not only make artworks of our own, but we interpret artworks by others. So what is the value of engaging in the process of art criticism in the first place? What's the value of even engaging with artwork? How can we, the viewer, read a work of art as text? And that's what our description and our analysis and our interpretation steps are for, so that we can read an artwork as if it was a piece of text. And how does knowing and using visual art vocabulary help us understand and help us to express intelligent concepts about interpreting art? This is deeply important, right? It makes us more human when we're able to engage with our world. And in the end, we also evaluate, right? We do these complex things to create artworks, knowing that we have to evaluate, we have to question. How does one determine a criteria to evaluate artwork? How do we choose what's good and bad? What are the rules of what's good and bad artwork, or successful and not successful artwork? And how can that criteria vary from person to person? And how is this personal experience and preference, how is it different from other people's evaluations? These are very, very deep thoughts, but these are part of our visual arts content standards. And you can find these in the California Art Standards, cde.ca.gov, and you can see exactly what our content standards cover for this class.